and to do with their monies. Because just like Governor Wike of Rivers State said the other day, he said, even in that same extra accrued account, there's what you call the derivative account or something like that, that is still there. That they should think about using those sums of money to look at the issue of environmental degradation in the Niger Delta areas. That is a very strong point, because you're talking about national security. You want to bring out this money, information. Think about the other side, about environmental matters, because climate change can become a disaster for national security in every country that knows what is doing about national security. When it talks about the issue of information, remember, when you talk about intelligence, you can use the people of Nigeria as their most useful source of intelligence. Information management, the people first. If you don't carry them along, how many soldiers do we have? How many police do we have? The people of Nigeria have got the biggest information to give to us, to share with us. And once you do it, it's about us and about them, about the bloody civilians and about the men on boot or uniform. You've lost the picture. Then when you talk about the loyalty to make sure that this information can be handled well, I love the Army for that. The Army has been fantastic with their information management. I can't say that of the police yet, although they've woken up from their slumber, they've done a lot well. The road safety, I love them for that. Customs doing beautiful work, but they should do more when it comes to the issue of information, because information is power. Carry the people along. They should have trust in you. Right now, the distance between the people and the military is wide. Personally, I don't have much for them right now, because there's a lot of information about them, of human abuse and problems with the masses, with the populace. Right now, I don't feel comfortable with them. They need to make us to feel reassured that they are there for us, not for some people, especially the herdsmen. Okay, now let's get back to that issue of the money. I know you talked about the budgets they have already for this year, over 400 billion. Now, there are those who argue that, yesterday we had the spokesman for the Ministry of Defense talk about the fact that you don't fund the war from the budget. You use extra budgetary means to fund wars, and this is a war. So let's look at that as against the constant rhetoric or constant statement that the Boko Haram has been decimated and the war has been technically won. How is it that we're now going to spend about $1 billion to handle the same issue? What do you think? Beautiful question. Three perspectives. Number one, some time ago, we've heard that Boko Haram has been decimated, technically defeated. But the truth of the matter is, a school of thought believes that international communities have been dumping serious sums of money into Nigeria because they believe that we've won the war against terror. It's a big news. It's a safety line for Africa because of the influence Nigeria has in the whole of Africa. So loads of money are coming in from international bodies. Who accounts for those monies? Where are those monies? And that school of thought believes, this is unconfirmed information, that even the wife of Mr. President is actually doing loads of charity work because of IDPs, and loads of sponsors from international communities are also coming towards her. Who keeps record of this? Is this true? Is it not true? The bottom line is, the monies that are coming in, you're supposed to fight a war based on a plan, based on a strategy. Now, even though it's a war, it's still internal security crisis. And I think when it comes to internal security crisis, we know the police are experts in it. We know what the army are trained for. But you know what? This has also become a business. This has also become an investment. So a lot of people will say the willpower is not there to kill terror in Nigeria. So there's a chance that we're going to be with terror and insurgency for some time, because there's so many semantics, pay pockets. People are making millions out of this. So why do they want to kill it?
Vince, I want to just come in here because the 2018 budget proposal that has just been submitted over the last 1 month to the National Assembly for the Defense Ministry, $422 billion. That's the recurrent side. We're looking at $145 billion now for capital. That changes the differential of 88 to 12 from the past to about approximately 75, 25, 70, 30. Now, would you advocate for a strategic rebalancing, if you will, of how these expenditures are taking place across the security services?
Oh, yes, definitely, because certain security services are probably more opportune than the others. Now, in our beautiful country, Nigeria, a lot of school of thought believes that because the army, the foot soldiers, the ground forces, not the Navy, not the Air Force, a lot of people, school of thought believes that the army has got this political presence because they've had their generals who have been the president of military president of Nigeria. So they have this kind of very competitive advantage they have over the rest of the agencies. We need to rebalance. The SSS, fantastic agency, doing loads of good work. We need to support them more because they're supposed to do more for us. But our good friends, the Nigerian police, needs more. You know, we need to understand that these guys need more. And they're not getting it to the best of my knowledge.
You know, you really touched on this issue of kind of measurability, the tangibles.
Yes.
Now, how do you go from a system that doesn't really respect data, doesn't really respect statistics, certainly not publicly giving it out, how do you go from that system to kind of inculcating these notions of measurability, transparency? How do you go about that?
I think it's not rocket science. It's about the willpower again. For them to hire ICT experts who understand SQL, who understand data management, who understand data capturing. It's not rocket science. We've got loads of young Nigerians, male and female, that have the capacity and the skills to do it. It's about gradual data collection. It's not going to happen under a night, under a week. But within 6 months, we can have something. Why is it that we don't have national ID?
Vincent Yekwelu, former British police officer and security expert, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a short break. Stay with us.